So finally, we're going to get to the chat. Any questions, any answers as from now? We're not going to be going back 45 minutes to see what you've been saying. So now is the time that we're going to start interacting with you. We're going to relax. In fact, so much so that I have my Coke Zero, which I didn't have during the chat. Ready? And you've got your cat. What's the name of your cat?
This is Ezekiel.
How many cats do you have?
There are 4 cats in this house.
Whoa! I thought you were going to say like 2.
2 of them are mine, and 2 of them are flatmates.
Oh, beautiful. Lovely. Okay, let's get to the chat. Sorry everyone for not looking at the at the chat, but we're here. Go a little bit back, and by the way, I've just realized that we received welcome to Ninja Monkey, Robert Coulter. Robert has become a member. So let me just sort something out, because I think that let me just put the highlight up, and I want to try something because is it appearing? Yay! Welcome to Chat Ninja. And on that note, I have yay! Thank you for being part of the Chat Ninja community. Welcome to Chat Ninja, Robert. Much appreciated. Arigato gozaimasu. And we're gonna have a look at any of the questions. So if anybody, if you see anything that comes to mind, please let me know. Let's see. Let's go to Follow-san. Will you put some pics on Discord, Alminox?
Yeah, it's snowing apparently in Sapporo right now.
Ooh. The question is, will you put some photos on Discord? Can you hear me?
Me or Almanacs?
You. Oh wait.
I don't. Yeah, they're
okay,
asking for Almanacs for pictures of the snow in Sapporo.
Oh, this is such a Nathan thing to do.
It's all right. The names are so close. It's fine. We have like 6 of the same letters.
It's a great boat ride, but somebody died on it recently. Seriously?
Yeah, that's unfortunate to hear.
That's very unfortunate to hear, I have to say. Hey Alminox, how are you doing? I love the illuminations and lantern festivals in Japan and Taiwan. Yeah, actually myself and Alan, Japan Ichiban, the guy from Facebook, if I'm the packing guy, he's a Facebook guy, right? Japan Ichiban, myself and his wife, we went to a lantern festival in Tokyo, and it was pretty. It was really cool. I was looking at luggage forwarding from Haneda. I'm traveling end of week. You can use luggage forwarding from Haneda, no problem.
Yeah, using it from the airport is going to be more about just not having to haul it with you to your hotel. Yeah, it depends. I think it's a little bit less useful than going from hotel to hotel.
Well, it depends when you arrive. I think if you arrive very early, then you can get rid of your luggage, and you can't check in till usually 3 p.m. So you arrive at 6 a.m. You give your luggage away, and then you have the rest of the day to sort of like not have to be anywhere near the hotel.
Yeah, and it does mean you don't have to go to your hotel and drop stuff off. You can plan a route that doesn't require that.
Exactly. That's what I think anyway. I know a few people who use Klook for train bookings. Cool. Klook have been contacting me quite often, trying to get me to do like affiliate links with them, but I'm not. I keep on telling them. I said, okay, like I want you to, if you do affiliate links for the parks, then I think I'll be interested. But they want me to do some random things that I'm not interested in. I don't think I will use luggage forwarding personally, because I am arriving at 5:30, just going to drop it off myself at the hotel. It depends. I mean, like we've mentioned, you could use the luggage forwarding, and if you probably drop it off at 5:30 or at probably at 6:30 by the time you get through security, etc., then your luggage will probably arrive realistically at 5 p.m. or something. to your hotel. So just after you check in. Michael says that they order the tickets online and just pick them up at the ticket machine. Awesome. Back in the Clay is here. Back in the Clay, you wrote a very funny message on. It was a typo, but it made me laugh so much. In my last video, he wrote, "Thanks for the updates. It will help me get ready for the, instead of 2024 trip, he put 3024 trip," and I'm like, yes, the future. For staying in the countryside, if locals speak their dialect, most times I have no idea what they mean, especially in Al Modi. Yeah, dialects can be harder. Oh, Pepsi, how dare you? Just been sick. Oh no. Already uploaded some photos on Discord. Awesome. That was quick. So if you do have any questions for Amnistar here about the trip that we've been talking about, then you know this is probably the time to do so. And yeah, we've been talking about 14 nights in Japan. The longest I've been in Japan is just short of, well, just about 6 weeks, which was last time. How would you fare doing a 6-week trip, do you think?
I'd need to find a more long-term accommodations that I liked. I think that would be the big thing to help make me get through such a long trip. Hotels are fine for sleeping in, but they're not great for living out of for the most part. They're all so tiny. So whether it's with Airbnb or some sort of a guest home rental or whatever it is, or a short-term apartment stay or something along those lines, that would really be the determining factor, is what's the accommodations like for that trip and how frequently am I changing them, right? Because I think that being displaced feeling was probably the biggest one.
I think I agree with you on that one, because my last trip in the summer, I went to something like 22 different hotels, which is kind of crazy now looking back, across 6 weeks, 22 hotels across 6 weeks. And my take back from that is, if I was to do it all over again, I would probably use, instead of 22 hotels, I'd do probably like 15. And I would probably use some of those hotels as a 3-nighter sort of location. So hopefully in the summer, if I go, hopefully I will, I'll be able to plan a little bit more realistic trips. I think also, you know, I'm getting older. I'm feeling it. 22 hotels, basically traveling every 2 days or whatever, was a little bit intense. But unfortunately also with those things, sometimes you just don't, you just have to, because I wanted to do all of those Matsuris, and those Matsuris were at very specific dates, and they were like all across Tohoku, so I had to freaking stay in a different hotel for 5 days in a row so that I could do those Matsuris, you know. So what was your best experience, says Caroline?
So there's probably two things that I would put in that category. So the thing that I did there that I think was the most fun, as far as like an activity that can be easily replicated, was probably the snack bar tour. I absolutely love getting to spend time with people who are, off script, as it were, that they aren't expecting to teach. They're not there like with a notebook that tells you, this is what this castle is and this is what that castle. You're talking to people and actually getting to know them, as opposed to what they've prepared to as a guide. And I absolutely love that. It's one of the favorite things that I always recommend people who ask me things that they should make sure they do in Japan is, in the evenings, go find a small bar and spend 3 hours there just talking to people, right? That was a blast. And then kind of as a related piece to that, I brought a roll of quarters that were minted from Texas. So there was a time when all the states were getting quarters made for them, and Texas quarters have a picture of Texas on the back instead of the eagle that the quarter normally has. So I bought a roll of $10 quarters that I was handing out to people that I met, and
would you say that was a good move?
It got people to open up so fast. Like, you chat for a little bit, and then I'd be like, "Oh, hey, I have omiyagi. You know, here's," and then I'd give it to everybody at the bar, and suddenly I was everybody's friend. I don't want to
pat myself on my back, but I swear that is probably my number one tip for open conversation. You know what I mean? Like, and it doesn't have to be a quarter. I do postcards all the time. Now I do postcards all the time, and it's amazing what just this act of I don't want to say kindness, but an act of like openness.
So
becomes something.
I think it's you're following a cultural tradition of theirs that you don't have to, that makes them smile and makes them more receptible to speaking with you.
I mean, I do have the occasional comments. You know what the YouTube is like. You know, there's a lot of people that think they know a lot about Japan, have very strong opinions about Japan, and most of these people probably haven't even been to Japan, and they're keyboard warriors, and they'll write like, "No, don't give gifts to Japanese people." And I'm like, first of all, I don't give gifts to everyone. Second of all, like I'm not gonna give a gift to someone just randomly just because I spoke to them. There's a difference between a gift and a small like gesture, like a token from being friendly, you know, and that's basically what I'm referring to. I do carry some bigger gifts specifically for example, for a tour guide. If I spend a whole day with a tour guide, then I'll probably give something just a little bit bigger. But nothing out of this world either. It's not like I go out and I wrap a present to give.
The way that the staff's face lit up at the traditional Japanese ryokan where nobody spoke any English, when I said, "Hey, I have omiyagi for everybody. How many people do you need?" Where I gave all the staff a quarter. They were so excited that I did that. That I gave them that token.
Up and you know what, I've had friendships grow from that. Obviously I
got 3 line numbers from it. So
exactly. But obviously I'm in a position where I can make friends and keep up the friendship because I go back very often.
Right.
A lot of people do ask like, how do you make friends in Japan? And really, to make friends in Japan, you need to go to Japan and you need to have that continuous connection with the people, right? Let's see what the chat's saying. Thanks, Alminox, by the way. I'm planning a 3-month trip next. Awesome. I've just lived 6 months in a hotel in India. Do not recommend it. Never feels like at home. Oh boy. Amnistar, did you consider overnighting in Matsumoto? You did, didn't you?
So we did overnight in Matsumoto, yeah. We did not spend much of the second day in Matsumoto. That's one of the things that I think that you were talking about that I would make a change on, is when I do those one-night trips someplace, is book both sides of that day to spend time wherever you are. Don't only spend the time before. Like, just assume you're spending 2 days.
I agree. Unless you're going to go specifically for example, if you know that you're going to go to a location just for a very specific reason.
Right.
You know, and you've done and dusted, you know, like if you were going to Matsumoto just for the castle, and then it's fine. You go, you spend the night, you see the castle, you leave early in the morning.
Yeah, because there was a museum we didn't get to go to because it was closed on Monday for the wood prints that we wanted to, that looked interesting, that I would have liked to have gone to.
I think it's a good tip is to do a little bit of research with opening times, especially when you go to more Inaka places. They do tend to close on really random days, you know, like for different things. Hey, SN Battle Reports is here. Hey, Primo, he's my cousin. How are you doing? Steven, he's a YouTuber also. and he's got a bigger channel than me. He's got a great
Is
following,
that
and he
is that
does.
40K battle reports?
Yeah, do you know him?
No, but the name makes sounds familiar. I may have watched some of his stuff.
Yeah. He's a Warhammer battle reports person. Awesome. Snack bar trips around sounds interesting. Never heard of it before. I think it sounds really like. I think those sort of things are the little bits where you have access to sort of local experiences, and those are
Yeah,
the memories
because
that stick.
all of these places that we went on that tour were a small sign in an alleyway to a staircase to a second floor building with a door that had nothing on it, that you opened it up and it looked like somebody's living room almost. Like, I would never think to go into these snack bars without somebody telling me ahead of time, yeah, this is the place we're going, right? So it was great for finding these kind of hole in the wall, out of the way places that I don't think I would have ever found without somebody that knew where it was.
I am very much tempted. I agree with you with what you said. Go to a bar, spend a local bar, not necessarily the hub, and spend a little bit of time. And if you do have a base, then my recommendation is, if there is an izakaya or a bar or a snack bar or something like that near your base, your hotel, and you're going to be there for 4 or 5 nights, always go to the same one, because you get this rapport, you meet the same people. By day 2, they're more open. It's fun. It's fun, and also don't forget, I think it's really important to ask the locals for what they recommend you do, which is something that I keep on forgetting to do, but when I do, I always reap the benefits. Always.
Yeah.
Did you do that at all?
Not for like a thing to do. I definitely asked locals for recommendations when I was at a place of something to order. But unfortunately, we overbooked our trip a little bit much, so we didn't have the freedom to be able to add in an activity suggested by somebody local.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's something as simple as what's your favorite shrine? Or something as simple as, I'm going to be doing this activity. Do you have a favorite restaurant? I'll give you a really crazy story. That was when I was in Kanazawa. I bumped into the mayor of Kanazawa. And so we ended up asking the mayor of Kanazawa to recommend a restaurant for us to go to. So obviously, those are the sort of like really unique insights that you're going to get from people that you're probably not going to get from any guidebook, All right, fellow Texan. Towada, for Tokyo, I would try Hatobus. It seems like it has become English and Mandarin language friendly. What is Hatobus, though?
It's a new one for me.
Hatobus factory night tours for years, according to Caroline. Ooh. I think I'm very late to the show. Nonetheless, good evening, everyone. Hey, Mark G. Never late. Never late. Just arriving is... Is that a different cat?
Nope, same one.
Oh, the same one.
Decided to come back.
Let's see. Japan was essentially closed to foreign tourists. Kyoto was so peaceful, like it used to be, but for some reason, Isajingu was packed. Really? Archie, hello guys. Hi Archie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Traveling Gabriel is here. People shouldn't pack their trip so much. Have 1 or 2 things to do a day, then you get to do other things that might come up. Yeah, be flexible, especially as a tourist. I think if you're gonna go to Japan for the very first time, then have a checklist of top 10 things that I need to do in Japan, and anything else is a bonus.
I will say some of that also depends upon the personalities of the people you're traveling with. Myself and my mother are both list people that need to know what's happening to be able to relax and enjoy what's happening. So we're not worried about what we're doing tomorrow. So I think I will get better at it as I've gone to Japan more and gotten used to it. But these first two times, I wanted to make sure I did all the things I wanted to do, and having the list made me be able to enjoy what was happening when it was going on, because I knew what was coming and wasn't thinking about it. Because the days when we didn't have something planned tomorrow, I spent most of that day looking things up on the phone to do tomorrow. So
yeah,
that's going to be a mileage may vary. But I do agree, don't overpack your trips. We made that mistake. Scale down what planning as much as you are comfortable with so that you have flexibility to do things. And make your Google list of places to visit so that when you have free time, you can just open up Google Maps and see what's tagged nearby and just go do it.
And also, plan your trip as if you're going to go to Japan more than once, because you probably are. You can't do everything. Bojo Pigeon says, I've been to one little place in Tokyo that I knew about through Twitter that had no external sign, no sign on the door, that felt really weird going in there as a tourist. Yeah, I think social media, Twitter, Instagram, great. Facebook, again, Japanese Japan, great sources of inspiration and finding these little hidden spots for sure.
And all the locals in those spots that we went to were super thrilled to see us there and happy to chat with us when we opened up to them. They did not start the conversation, but when we said hello, they were more than happy to chat with us.
Yeah. Oh, Tawada says that Hato Bus is a very old established tour bus company in Tokyo. Okay. It's very well known. Well, I didn't know, but now I do. Hato Bus is a perennial city tour bus company for like Tokyo city tours. You can usually just show up, standard, many lines. Okay. Everyone's telling us about Hato Bus. We're going to be Hato Bus experts. Hato Bus is a Tokyo-based bus tour company. They were Japanese only for years, so foreign tourists rarely use them. Okay, there we go. Hato Bus is next to Tokyo Station. We are Hato Bus experts now, Amnistar.
Yep.
What's the cat's name, Amni? Says Jesse.
Oh, that was Ezekiel. We call him Zeke.
Ziki. I would call him Ziki.
Yep. He's currently sleeping on my feet.
Ooh. Bojo Pigeon. I'm surprised at the number of places, even in the busy parts of Tokyo, that will tell you, wow, we almost never get tourists here. Yeah, because tourists are interesting creatures that always go to the same places. This is the thing that I've started discovering in that video that I put out last week, like the hidden gems or the less visited places in Tokyo, like Yanaka Ginza, etc. A lot less tourists. Why? Because everyone goes to Harajuku, to Shibuya, to Akihabara, etc. And you can easily get out within Tokyo to different places, and they'll say, oh, we don't get many tourists here.
Well, and I think the other side of that is if you go someplace that's not on Instagram, that you haven't seen a YouTube video about from a popular YouTuber, right? You're probably going to be one of the few tourists that looks foreign that goes to that place if nobody's been hyping it up, right? Because there are so many places between your hotel and the shrine you're going to. There's countless. There's 3 or 4 every door that you walk past because of how vertical the city is.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. One of my girlfriend's sister is extremely anti-foreigner. Really?
Yeah, I I wouldn't say that every person I met was happy for me to be tourist. I had several people that decided they didn't want to sit next to the American-sized 6-foot-tall foreigner on the subway when I sat down next to them and moved. But when I went to places like the bar, where socialization is the goal, and I was open and used my little Japanese that I had, they were much more open to talking with me and friendly than they were in public situations.
When the subway question of people moving away, I've started realizing that actually people aren't moving away from you specifically. They're just moving to a better seat because I do it myself. For example, in the subway, there's in the train, there's a seat next to the door where if you sit on that seat, you only have one person sitting next to you on the left, and you can lean on sort of this barrier thing that there is. And I can tell you that if I am sitting in between two people and that seat becomes empty, I will move to that seat. And that's exactly what Japanese people do a lot of the time. Why would you want to be squashed between two people when there's a space becomes available where you can potentially either sit next to one person and lean against something, or sit by yourself? I totally understand it. I don't think it's a racial thing. I think it's a logical thing, especially with the whole like COVID mentality that's sort of sticking, you know. But definitely, and obviously if you're a 6-foot person, you're gonna want to find...
I'm a big person compared to a lot of people, so...
Michael says, I booked with Get Your Guide for an izakaya bar hopping tour for Tokyo, Kyoto and Osaka. It was a local guide who knew the city. Also, I mean, if you with somebody who knows the city, then it's going to be brilliant because they're going to take you to the places. They probably arrange with those places. In fact, one of the stresses I would say of traveling to Japan, like specifically on your own or for the very first time, is it can actually be like finding seats, finding places to go in, or can I go in here? Can I eat in here? Is there going to be seats available for me? And if you book with a sort of like a guide thing, you can at least have one evening or 2 evenings where you don't have to worry about that because everything's being taken care of for you. And it's great food. Regarding Yanaka Ginza, I think all Tokyo people, especially in low town, know about it. Of course they do. Of course, I'm talking about specifically tourists. Yanaka Ginza is definitely a up and coming area in Tokyo. There's a lot more tourists traveling to Yanaka Ginza. It's going to eventually be a very popular place. How many times did you get Nihongo Jozu? Good question.
Oh man,
from Jesse.
Okay, so for anybody who doesn't know, Nihongo Jozu literally translates to "you are skilled at Japanese," and there is a joke amongst foreigners learning Japanese that you don't actually know Japanese until people stop telling you that you're good at Japanese, and instead ask you how long you've stayed in Tokyo. So you'll get Nihongo Jozu for the slightest bit of Japanese in Japan because they're very happy that you're making the effort. I got it nearly every day, and I think I set the record for how fast you can get Nihongo Jozu because we got into the taxi. I said water in Japanese in a questioning tone, and he said, "Oh, Nihongo Jozu."
Well, I've now got to the point where I have been making a point of saying Eigo Jozu before they say Nihongo Jozu. So my aim is to say Eigo Jozu before they say Nihongo Jozu. And you know, just it's kind of funny.
We did get on 2 separate occasions people asked us if we lived in Japan. So we're kind of on that cusp in some circumstances when we know the script well.
What tools do you use to do elementary Japanese or
a
Javanese?
Lot.
You're not learning Javanese, are you?
Not Japanese, Japanese. But I think that's what they meant.
Yeah, I know.
The biggest one that I would say is if you can afford it, both in time and money, is hire do class.
The connection has disappeared.
Past, like...
Oh, we're back.
Uh-oh.
You're back. You're good.
You disappeared briefly.
You're all good.
Okay, so
you're fine.
If you can afford it, and both time and money, then I would say the thing that you want to do is private lessons or group lessons where you can actually speak to somebody who is fluent in Japanese. I realize that not everybody can do that. I have a long list of tools that I've tried, and I'm more than happy to chat with anybody in Discord about the various things that I've used and which ones I found worked and didn't. Amnistar is my name in Discord. Just ping me, and I'll be happy to chat with you about what I've done.
Your name on Discord is appearing a little bit different now.
Oh, that's right.
What's going on there?
Did I change it?
It's just A.
Huh. Okay, I'll look into that.
But I just wanted to mention that ultimately, this is a community that I'm trying to build, the Ninja Monkey community, where we help each other out. This is the whole point of doing these streams, and the Discord community is a great way of, actually chatting with one another, asking advice, asking questions. And I'm really thankful for the people that are there, like helping people out with their itineraries and their questions, etc. So definitely worth checking out the Discord for those questions. Ninja Monkey, I had a lot of aunties sit next to me when I was in Japan before COVID. Ooh. And some small shops disappear at night or weekends if they just have a sandwich board outside, then bring it inside when closed. You can go back to the same location and not find the shop. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've been to some places, I've had great food or great whatever, and then I've gone back the next day and I haven't found it, and I thought to myself, I should have taken a picture of the door, or I should have taken a, like whatever, because yeah. As in the restroom, there's a social leaning of which stall is chosen. Really? There is seat shuffle that naturally occurs when seats in a carriage are taken when available. Yeah, that's basically.
Yeah, there's the societal understanding of these are the places that you take first.
Yeah, basically, yeah. 6 feet 4 inches tall here, Alminoc says. Wow. So always have to be hanging handles in public transport in my face.
Oh God, the number of times I whacked my head on something.
How tall are you? Just 6 foot?
I'm 6 foot even. So I can only imagine how the 6'3", 6'4" people in your audience end up struggling.
Crazy. I feel better when people ask, how long have you lived in Japan? I can imagine. 6'3", Mark. We have tall people in the Ninja Monkey community. I'm 5'7".
Well, on the plus side, you fit in Japanese things. So there's that.
Yeah, on the plus side, I am taller than the average Japanese person. You must be a giant.
It's a very strange feeling going from a place where most people are, between 5'10" and 6'2" in my area to where I am looking over everybody's heads. It's very different.
Not skilled or natural sounding. What does it say? What does that say?
Nihongo Jozu is what it says there.
Jozu. But not skilled or natural sounding. If you are semi-fluent, they will not comment on your language at all.
Yeah, if you're getting Nihongo Jozu, it's because they can tell it's not your first language and you're still learning it. So they're doing it to give you encouragement.
Jesse says, man, you make me feel short. Only 5'7" here, so I feel at home in Japan. 5'11", and I still hit my head coming down some staircases in old buildings in Japan. I mean, I'm 5'7" and I hit my head on things. 5'1", Caroline says. I've met Caroline in person. I didn't think you were that short, to be honest, Caroline. You're a good height for
Nathan, you're 5'7". You're not a good judge of who's short.
Exactly my point. That's exactly what I'm saying. Try taking a Japanese public transport bus when you're 6'3"?
Oh yeah, when we rode the buses in Hakone, all four of us are American sized. So we sat down in the bus, and one person got to sit in the bus seat, and the other person was hanging halfway off of the edge of the bus seat because of how skinny they were and how much we spilled over the edge.
I mean, Caroline says big-headed but short. Caroline is a great photographer, by the way. She puts some awesome stuff on Instagram. Yeah. Well, we've reached the 1.5 hour mark, which is where I start sort of like ending things. And obviously, I know, what time is it over there now?
4 p.m.
4 p.m. So it's 11 p.m. here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to Amnistar for his insights, his storytelling about his trip and the things that he got up to, and hopefully it was something that you found useful. And if you do think that you want to feature in this segment, trip report about your trip, or if you're going to go on a trip and you're thinking, oh, actually I wouldn't mind them featuring, then start taking photos, start thinking about what you're going to say. I'd love to be able to do this like maybe once a month or something. I don't think I'll be doing this every single stream, but if I can get a trip report done by one of you guys once a month, 12 a year or so, that would be pretty cool. It would be a good collection of really informative, useful information for people that are planning their trips to Japan. So once again, big thank you to Amnistar.
Well, thanks for having me. Happy to be here, and I'm happy to continue answering questions in Discord if anybody has something to think of later. So just ping me there and I'll respond.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Anyway, I'm glad you've held up all the way to the end of this stream, and have a great evening. Stay positive and be a happy gaijin.